We are going to be playing Metal and then Snake for our two maps tonight. Metal is, of course, up first, and that has been picked by NOOBPANZER.
We're rolling out into mid here, and what I'm seeing already is some adamant refusal to adapt to the new meta, as both the teams do not bomb the enemy roamer into the Demoman's face straight away. We saw that last week. Instead, it can be Geordie just bombing in onto the enemy valley here, onto Piggles. Doesn't hit the shot. Opti goes in as well, doesn't find anything. And Disky is in house. He's going to live, and that means Patchouli and Mac, they're just going to run right back out.
Yep, Panzer taking the first mid, as might be expected. We didn't get much time to talk in pregame at all, but I do think we should be seeing a NOOBPANZER win here tonight. But anything could happen. It's a very tight season. The sack comes in from Hugo, but Voxy's just been sniped out of the shutter door at the same time. Geordie tries to counter with something, but Joe is going to take him down as well. So it's 1-for-1, even Ubers on last.
It's weird you kind of say that, right? I think that is kind of the expected result. You look at these two teams on paper, they're kind of both the same circle jerk. I think one team, NOOBPANZER, just more of the stronger players of said Mac Mumble. But I think, honestly, I think you look at their last week's results for both of these teams. The Shadow Wizards played a very close game against CSG. And then you look at NOOBPANZER, they played a very close game as well, but against Swift, a team that I think we both agree is a little bit lower in the standings. We're going to have to see them try to bounce back here against what should be a much tougher opponent.
Yeah, that's true. When you look at those matchups, you'd expect the exact opposite. Patch has actually bumped Voxy twice or three times and hasn't noticed it. I don't know if Geordie's just spamming rockets because he noticed something, but Joe and Adisky have gone down on second in the meantime, and the engineer has switched off. This sentry isn't here to guard last anymore. If they don't check this spy out, looks like Vanu is expecting something, so Voxy won't get away with the cheeky back cap here, and the Uber has been forced out of Piggles on second as well. Patch is getting chased down onto last, but going to keep that Uber in their pocket, so no need to use for the Wizard Money Gang. Voxy still just crabbing along here, just sneaking away on the spy.
It's actually a miracle they haven't noticed him yet. It was so much damage on Piggles onto that point that, by the way, he got forced and pretty much had to. He would have not got an air shot by Geordie, but finally Geordie's up on spy now. He's going to do a spy check. They're going to know, surely, for a fact. Yeah, you can see now, the soldiers now, they're spy checking all over the place. There's a fight in lobby here. This is really weird. The Uber hasn't been popped for Patchouli here. This is kind of peeking into second, but popping, pushing out of Metalworks last, it's tough.
Yeah, they do eventually get in, but they lose AF for Adisky. Mac's been taken down very low too, and Voxy is actually getting a kill here on Geordie. He does eventually go down, but they spent so long obsessing over the spy of Voxy. Somehow didn't even manage to kill him when there was two soldiers shooting at him there on last. And eventually this massive advantage that they managed to engineer themselves pays off for nothing. Piggles' Uber is already back up. That Voxy spy just delayed for so long. They were so anxious about that. Maybe didn't need three people back for him, but at the end of the day, it ends up evening up again.
Now we have a Disky on the sniper who's going to try to take a little bit of an angle through main immediately. Doesn't quite hit the shot there onto Patchouli. Goes for a follow-up. Doesn't hit it either. Now it's been spotted out by the sniper, so he's going to have to wiggle his way around. Try to channel himself. CS2 was just announced, and I think he's ready to play that game. He's not running the AWP, but he could be. He's just still peeking into main. Hasn't found anything. It's actually a really difficult last to sort of actually get an angle to unless you're Stark. You just hit like 4 hero shots in a row. See, AF up on the counter sniper should make Disky's job just so much harder. Decent body shot damage up to Opti. He's just going to shut him down for now. Even Ubers, it's both these teams. This is going to sit around, honestly. Pushing in, pushing out. Metalworks last. This one, this is a toughie.
Yeah, the defensive sniper is so much easier here. Other than this shutter, everything else is a really harsh 90-degree angle you have to turn, and now the shutter is getting opened up for Adisky. And in the meantime, Puck trying to sack in, but that is what the sentry is for. Just gets pinned to the skybox and no chance there. So backing out onto second are NOOBPANZER. Geordie's going up a little bit forwards after trying to get an angle too, but they don't see anything. Catch the ball of spam and everyone's just back on last.
Adisky walking into forward spawn. It's going to change back to soldier. Gives up on the sniper. Doesn't really want to go for it. Kind of understandable, to be completely honest. Not really sure what he's supposed to do. AF though, he could just stay on the sniper. It's not the end of the world. Sort of sit there, shoot shots. Eventually someone's going to peek through main, right? You're just going to hit him. the whatever. This, I think, with a minute now on the clock before the round resets, this is very much in NOOBPANZER's sort of... The ball's in their court, right? They're going to have to push at some point. Question is where? How? How'd you get in?
Well, they're just going to opt for a trade using off the Uber through the far left, but it's much better, and Joe is getting caught in, juggled around, and does go down after the Uber, but Voxy has just found himself an opening. They run in both scouts onto Mac, and they take that demo down. Vanu very low on the heavy as well, will get taken down by Shocky, and all the red players are just able to flood in here. Half the points already capped, just Opti left to try and block the cap, and that is it. Just at the end of the day, they trade off of nothing, and they managed to find a play in the trade, blocking in Joe. Getting that demo pick wasn't enough for Wizard Money Gang, because Mac just got rushed down straight afterwards.
There's just no real positioning for them after that Uber trade, right? You had Opti holding high ground, but the rest of the team just kind of fell. Mac losing his life in that push is such a big deal. We're back on mid now. This NOOBPANZER 1-up. I honestly thought we were going to get a round reset there. That push looked really scuffed. They managed to pull it out for NOOBPANZER in the end. Back onto mid, Disky eating some spam as Jordy, once again, to try and choose, send him in, see what happens, but it's Piggles, gets taken down by Opti instead. The pipe comes out of Mac, trades for Joe here, but he's actually seemingly... They're still going to take this mid fight on the red team now. They're looking for Patchouli, trying to get as much space as they can, try to bully away Af, actually get that kill, but Patchouli should be far enough away. I say that. So let's melee fight onto a Disky. He's so low, but the rocket catches him at the very end. The chase manages to come through, and Hugo cleans him up just barely.
Yeah, Disky getting a bit too cheeky there, trying to go for the escape plan, but thankfully Hugo is able to follow up on it. Shocky just trying to see if he can catch anything out on second, but gets chased back. He will be getting his way onto second soon enough, though, as it's a 40 advantage for Piggles. We'll see how NOOBPANZER wants to take this. Patchouli just getting up onto second now. Everyone's already in alley for Voxy and gang.
They're all just saying here, right? They don't really have to send anything other than a soldier through, which they're going to do right now. The spam damage is decent onto Patchouli. Disky now in behind. This is going to give a little bit more space for the rest of NOOBPANZER to walk forward. But now the kill onto a Disky. Piggles is in such a bad spot here. Actually manages to live. Jordy doesn't really get anything without bombs. So now Hugo just bomb forwards onto the point. So much damage. The Uber's popped here for Piggles. Patchouli doesn't even have it yet. They just managed to kite this out. It should be completely fine. Chase on to Mac does get that kill as well. Now they have to build because the Uber might not be enough to hold her. It's 6 up for NOOBPANZER.
Yeah, 3 down. Their advantage doesn't mean much right now. There's going to be so much pressure applied onto Patchouli, just trying to get this force out. Hugo, the first one to bomb forwards, and there is the force. They're going to lose 2 for it. That's Shocky and Puck falling, but it's absolutely worth it. Now they get to recycle this Uber ad for last. They just don't want to give up second too much here. Adisky already trying to stuff the flank. Gonna be looking for a trade with Vanu, but again pulling out the skill stick and just getting taken down, not getting the frag he wanted, and that's NOOBPANZER back to mid.
They're back onto mid here, and they're down a player as well. No Adisky for the spam makes it way easier here for the Shadow Wizards to cast a few spells, just getting onto mid. Mac is super far forward. Scout's not quite with him. He's going to walk through under, and it's so much damage onto Voxy there. Joe eating up hype as well. It means he falls so low. But a kill onto Af is enough. And now the trade is coming out here. The Uber for Piggles, as it's 2 down for the Shadow Wizards. They run back, but they have an Uber charge advantage of their own to play with now.
Yeah, a nice try from the Shadow Wizards there. They knew that Uber wasn't going to be up for NOOBPANZER for quite a while. They knew that they could still roll forwards that Adisky pick onto mid, and they got so deep onto mid. They actually got so much value from it. They could have actually managed to get something done there, but the Uber comes up for Piggles just in time. They do get all the way onto second, but this time it's Patch with the Uber on last, ready to take this up through house once again. Hugo's going to be calling it out early.
Calling out early, a lot of damage onto Mac as that push comes forward. He gets pipe rocketed down, makes it so much harder for him to actually get any meaningful space. Adisky in behind as well. He's going to not find any frags, but it doesn't matter because it means the Shadow Wizards, they're not pushing forward here. Instead, they have to stay on second, and they lose their ad once again. We're just ping-ponging back and forth here because now Piggles, the 100%, they're looking to go forwards. It's a little bit of a wrap here. Honestly, the faster cap time for NOOBPANZER should work out in their favor here.
And now, if the Wizards try and get back, they're going to have to go through an Uber to get out. Look at this Uber proactively pop. They know where they're going to be leaving from. Joe and Voxy just take it straight to the only exit patch and manage, but they don't actually find the medic himself. They just get Af and Vanu for now. Mac going to be falling as well. Now the spawners from mid are joining the fray. Patch taken down very low, and that's going to be a complete wipe. 6 up still for NOOBPANZER. This is going to be their second round. Nicely done there. They just they bit off a bit more than they could chew, the Wizards. They thought, we have 2 picks, we can try and roll this to mid the same way we did last time, but the Uber was already up and no one clearing house is just such a huge mistake. The full team wrap really catches them out and they just lose the round on second there.
I think they just see a lower that is just completely unsecured. They think they can push through onto mid, they get a through push, but that's because the reason there's no one there. Oh no. No, bump freeze. Bump freeze.
Okay.
Oh no.
They were literally talking in mumble like half an hour ago. They were joking. They were joking about how they'd written a script for this game, and one of the things they said was, Mac, remember how you're gonna blow yourself up on round 2? And I mean, he's done it on round 3, to be fair to him. He's stuck to the script somewhat. In comes a sack from Hugo and a Disky, not really finding anything. Joe gets a trap kill onto Geordie instead, and that's the Wizards all the way out to last. They didn't even show up to this round yet.
That's the most advanced don't go to mid strat from Eames I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god, dude. That was beautiful. I'm so happy that someone's got my levels of Demo Man rollouts in Premiership as well. Disky's actually going to bomb in here, so is Hugo. It's a lot of damage. They actually managed to catch out Mac. It's not the end of the world here for NOOBPANZER, honestly. The heavy is still up, and we need a lot of damage to be able to take that down. Hugo now dead as well. This should end the push with Voxy going down as well. They hold on. Even Uber's here, but no Demo Man. It's, that was weird. I'm not sure what to say.
Really, nearly a very nice pressure into last there, but Geordie just able to catch Voxy off with that last rocket. Basically, whoever won that 1v1 between Voxy and Geordie was going to be taking that last hold or push, but Geordie able to come up clutch, stop Voxy from poking around, and now we're just in an even situation once again. Vanu on the sniper this time instead of Af taking the forward angle in lobby, and Opti also on the defensive spy. He's moving out of spawn, he's actually into lobby, committing to this play.
There's 2 spies in the enemy team,
they're right next to each other.
He might have called out one of the spies, but little do they know that there is actually another one they'll have to deal with afterwards. Voxy and Hugo both just up on the spy class. Now Opti is in behind here. You can see if actually they're aware even. They're actually looking to edge this, get some aggression going, so Voxy can maybe go for a stab. Patchouli hasn't seen him yet. He's going to walk up. He's going to know. He's going to face stab him. It doesn't work. There's a saw onto Opti, but somehow anyway, Voxy just manages with his butter knife out, chops him, gets some pistols out, and unfortunately that means Patchouli's going to have to pop. The spy play works. Hugo's still there, by the way. This push...
Yeah, we're stuck in the awkward situation of now there being a relatively useless spy for a full ad push that's going to be coming in. We'll have to see what Puck can actually manage when this Uber comes in, after just getting his Disad sentry up now, waiting for the spawner of Voxy before they take this one. Puck still creeping around in the backlines on Spy. Will they be able to take this fight 5v6? Puck actually uncloaks, he's going to be...
Oh no! Oh.
Actually gets Mac in the push. And
Mac. That's big, he's just spy grabbing on last.
Alright. Alright, man. Most scripted official ever.
Alright, the double spy play, it works out. I'm not sure, man. I think there's a part of me that wants to call that a big brain. But, yeah.
I mean, it's big brain to go for. You don't even need the backup play of Hugo on Spy, but manages to make it work. Mac, oh, he hits the rollout! He's actually going to get to mid! Huge play from Mac!
Let's go! Alright, the Wizards are back in it, except for the fact that both their soldiers are stood in their own house, spamming it because they're scared. This time around, the Geordie bomb, once again, is going to come out. This doesn't quite get tagged by the air shot from Mac. He makes it to mid, but then dies immediately. Patchouli's going to follow as well. So much pressure onto Piggles, and he's managing to stay alive because Af is busy taking a 1v1 with Voxy. He doesn't win it. That's a wipe for the Wizards here. They're all dead. The NOOBPANZER, they're walking into second already.
Yep. Massive advantage, full ad. into last. Two people not even up while Joe is already putting pressure on into last. This is looking rough for the Wizards. Hopefully their map pick goes a little better for them.
Yeah, this is not pleasant to watch. I'm gonna be completely honest. This is some wild stuff. These mids, it felt like versus CSG, the Geordie goes in and 2 shots the medic strat worked because Geordie was hitting every rocket. The only reason they lost that granary game was because Geordie went in, did 154 to Condog, and he didn't die. This time around, the Uber goes in, a headshot onto a Disky means that this Uber is traded for a single soldier kill on your own team.
That is the worst Uber I've seen. They just get nowhere off of it. The sniper dropping a Disky from behind the Uber as well. They were just so far from anyone, didn't even manage to get the jump off to cover the distance there, and now they're trying anything they can to delay this on second. Voxy is able to run through on the flank, but second's already capped up. That back cap isn't going to go anywhere. 100% advantage for Patchouli, and Voxy's just sneaking around on last. Might try and spawn kill Vanu here, but that might be all he's able to do. Mac, once again, dies on the way into mid.
No, wait, did he? I wasn't looking. I guess he got spawn capped by Disky this time, so it's not the same. But there is a Voxy on last second 1v1 with Vanu. Honorably wins it, by the way. As now it's 2 down here. No Demo Man for the Shadow Wizards. They have to go back. They have to deal with Voxy, right? This is getting scary. Mac doesn't heal Pipe, thankfully. It is there to help him out. Gets that kill onto Voxy, but that gives NOOBPANZER so much space here on second.
And they're running this into lobby. They're just going for a trade here while Voxy is down. They get the kill onto a Disky. Red team just are not popping this at all. NOOBPANZER don't feel the need to do anything here. Shocky is going to get dropped from it as well. And they're just giving up second. They're happy to just let this one go. And the Geordie sack trying to get the Uber out of the equation on the other side doesn't work out. Now they can repush this one in. It's an early use and they drop Hugo from the Uber as well. Voxy not even able to find a single kill of his own in that Uber. Everything is just backfired for NOOBPANZER. A Disky,
Uber doesn't work out, we say that! A Disky's in behind, manages to find 2. Patchouli, Vanu both go down. And this makes NOOBPANZER, they're just able to walk right back in onto second here. There is no Shadow Wizard presence at all. Mac is back on last, he's sticking up. How did a Disky just get in?
Yeah, I mean, I guess everyone was so focused on trying to chase the enemy Uber out, they weren't around to stop a Disky from just doing that. Came straight from house, and it's an easy force, and now it's a big advantage patch on the Cope Kritzkrieg on defense to see if they can just get anything in time, but they won't even be near to that crits by the time this medigun comes up. 91% already for Piggles. Going to be walking this one in any second now through the far left once again onto Voxy and Joe this time. Straight in, Sentry Gun is down straight away. Geordie getting pushed back. They find Patch as well, so no heals on this last hold, and everyone else just flooding in through the doors. Af on Heavy is really the only thing left to this hold, and he's going to get taken down. Vanu, though, is able to find a kill, and the other two are kind of weak here. Adisky now on the low ground just has to jump out, but he's going to get chased down, and that is a successful hold for Shadow Wizards.
It's successful, but just barely, and it's all off of Mac managing to find a couple pipes onto Piggles there. Takes him out pretty early on into the fight. The Heavy doesn't actually do too much damage, but it's enough. Doesn't allow the red team to come in. The health bar's just not quite there to clean up in the end. The Wizards hold on. It's not the end of the world for them. They're down about 10%, but they're liking their chances here. It seems like pushing in through Valley at the moment. It's Geordie just bombing in. Onto a scout, unfortunately. He's just going to get taken down immediately. Now Mac, he's walking in through under, but he doesn't have anyone with him. He takes so much damage on mid, and I think he's just going to go down here. Finally taken down, as NOOBPANZER are finding so many kills off of overextending Wizards.
Yeah, Mac just ends up a free kill there with Vanu and Af playing kind of disjointed around him, unable to keep him defended, and you saw as soon as Mac went down, Patch didn't really even have anyone to heal. That's how disjointed they were, and they are running this straight into last. They're trying to nearly get the force onto Patch, but he doesn't even have the Uber yet, so unable to force there. They don't quite get it, but nice to keep the momentum up, try and pressure as soon as they could, and now the Shadow Wizards going off this 2-pick advantage, trying to bust into second. They do force the Uber out of NOOBPANZER a little bit earlier. Geordie is going to go down in the meantime, and Hugo has ended up behind the Uber, trying to see what he can get done on last, but should just get pushed out of lobby here. Surprising he even makes it out alive there, actually. And this time they are already in from right side. It's just non-stop aggression, but now they get slowed down. They know when to not bite off more than they can chew, and NOOBPANZER are just going to chill in lobby for a bit.
They're just going to chill back on second. I mean, it's even Ubers here for both teams. So Vanu back up on the defensive sniper. Just sit back, take some shots eventually when people go in. As right now, it's going to be Piggle sitting in about 10% advantage. This means absolutely nothing, especially in a map like Metalworks. Vanu getting a little bit of aggressive peek. And you actually see that foot there on the scout. He's going to charge up his shot. Voxy has to be careful. He might actually just get body shot down. He doesn't, manages to live. There are players peeking, and that is a kill onto Jordy. A really nice opening frag here. It's going to prompt the NOOBPANZER to get into lobby. They're looking for a last angle here off of the soldier kill.
And Puck actually just seeing if he can get a spam angle. Patch is eating up these rockets, and so is the sentry gun. The sentry goes down. This is an opportunity for a sack if there ever was one. Shockey's going to be the one running in, and the bomb comes in over the top as well. Patch getting forced closer to the door. Shockey just going to be playing the cap time instead. 2 shots. Vanu nearly sneaks that cap away with everyone alive on last. That would have been legendary, but unable to do so. It would have been very embarrassing for the Wizards if they had let that happen, and once again, looking to pressure forward, see if they can get anything done with these player picks, but the spawns are already up.
I mean, Shockey just reverted back to 2012 form for a second there. But Jordy, he just somehow found to kill onto Pickles there. That's a medic down, and it's really hard now for NOOBPANZER to hold, but it looks like they're going for a spy play in the meantime. Shockey wants to go in. I think he actually just bumped Vanu there. Was that managed to stay alive, but surely still doesn't pop the Zubat. He hasn't needed to. Now the uncloaked spy is going to come out on point, going to drop down, and he just button knives, but surely he holds it so low, and he misses the pistol. But surely lives, and this is such a big advantage. They've killed everyone else on NOOBPANZER, who are all the way back in their own house, but surely with balls of steel keeps his team in the round.
Just does not care, bro. 20 health and a hit scan class staring him down, and he doesn't pop for anything. He looks him in the eyes and says, I'm milking this. And now they are able to take this coast to coast, this whole advantage. They just need to not get forced here. Vanu's an early pickoff, and that lets Adiski get behind Shadow Wizards. That could be a thorn in their side, but they are going to be able to cap up second here. They just need to watch out for Adiski, and they might still be able to put this Uber advantage to good use, but it's a bit too small now. There's no chance it's just going to even up on second. They do still need to watch out for Adiski, because here comes the bomb. He hits his head on the skybox, and that's not going to work out for him.
Yeah, unfortunately he mistimes the jump there. It's not the first time we've seen that this game, to be honest. He had a more embarrassing one earlier on. I'm sure that's going to be on TFTV somewhere sooner rather than later. The stickies! Someone! Oh my god, they just run over them. It doesn't matter. Uber's now traded off for both sides here. The sentry gun is taken down by Mac, but there should be no further action here on the blue side. I say that Mac just gets picked off in the lobby here, and it looks like still the Wizards, they're trying to fight, but they're trading players for now. Af is in onto last, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to find anything at all. The re-aggression comes out after losing their demo. Opti's in. I don't think he's been spotted. Adiski's just going to walk into him and never mind. Yep, it's fine.
It feels like Adiski's been going for that all game. This is the third time he's pulled out his escape plan to try and get a kill, and finally he actually gets it. That was just so unfortunate there, because even though it looks like that left door and the shutter door are right next to each other on last, there's a big-ass wall dividing them in lobby, and Mac just leaves through the opposite one to his team, and Puck finds a free kill on the demo, and that's how they get out of last here. The sync bomb is massive onto Patchouli. Adiski straight in, lines up those 2 rockets, and the NOOBPANZER are just rolling them over here. There's 6 minutes left in the game, and it's a massive, massive advantage for NOOBPANZER. They're already 3-0 up. They're checking everywhere for Opti. They don't know that he's just fully out. He is not able to do anything right now. Just crouching back to his own second. This could be a round for NOOBPANZER very easily here. They could be making this 4-0 off of a massive advantage. All the forward spawns are up, so there's a bit of presence on second, but with the 100% add for Piggles, you'd expect this to be going the way of NOOBPANZER very shortly.
You'd expect it, but look at that. Joe's just going down. I think, honestly, the Wizards, they don't really have a choice but to fight, and they're doing that. They picked off the entire flank as they've just kind of wrapped around. Finally, a kill onto Geordie, but this fight on middle is so scuffed here. Opti gets destroyed by Puck there on the flank as well, but now Adiski, he's not really able to find anything. The Wizards, they have to keep pressing up forwards here, but the bomb out of Adiski is doing so much work, but Julie again, he's so low and he doesn't care. He lives.
Really beautiful moves from Patchouli, like just about dodge all those rockets. Living on single digits of health is massive. And in that fight, I mean, you were freaking out about it on last just a minute ago. Joe seems to be putting up these traps and just not watching them. None of that would have happened of them getting run over in house there if Joe had actually decked the trap that 3 people ran through, but instead he left it, and they paid the price. Now they're on their own last. Here comes the Uber. The Pyro of Voxy is doing a great job of stuffing them here. Af even going to get caught out of the Uber, just dropped from it straight up, and no progress is made. They don't even get through the door, and it's 100% advantage to Biggles. That
Pyro just walked into the choke point. He pressed his right mouse button a few times, and the Uber charge was over. That's unfortunately how the cookie crumbles here for the Wizards. They have to find something really quick, though. They can't really afford to run back. They can't afford to time this Uber out for that long. They just have to keep on fighting, and it's not working out for them. You can see there's 2 players in lower here. Opti is just alone on his own on lobby. Does manage to get a kill on to Joe, but that's just not enough. Only 4 minutes left on the round timer. With him going down, NOOBPANZER are putting their stamp here on CP Metalworks as map number 1. It seems ever more likely that with that Mac kill especially, seems like NOOBPANZER have got this map in the bag.
Yep, Geordie in with a sack onto mid, but there's 2 scouts just eyeing him down. Adiski had Patch right underneath him, opts to jump back to the pack instead, try and control the ground behind. Does actually trade out for a scout, which is not too shabby at all. Shocky, bit late to the action, but as you said, there's 3 minutes and there's 3 rounds. This is nigh undoable for the Dark Wizards. Patchouli just getting spammed as he comes into mid. Both Ubers are up for both teams, but the health, the positioning, everything just seems so much better for NOOBPANZER. The Uber is out first for blue. NOOBPANZER using it off. It's about 50% better. Voxy's going to be able to find a kill onto Opti here, and they have all the space still on mid. The Shadow Wizards trying to repush purely because they have to, but Hugo just stuffs the door. Mac very, very low as well, going to get taken down, and I think I'm ready to call that GG, Wandum.
I think so too, to be honest. It was, I'm going to be honest, that's not the highest quality Premiership game I've ever seen in my life. It was very, very messy at times, but NOOBPANZER, they come out on top. It feels like, honestly, the Wizards, they kept going for these aggressive plays, and then, like, they weren't, like, felt like they were going for aggressive plays, but they weren't, like, fully baked. They're kind of, like, half-baked. You know, you put in the cake tester. This is a bad metaphor, I'm going to stop.
And, yeah, it also felt kind of like the game was a lot closer in the second half, but I don't think Shadow Wizards were playing any better in the second half. It kind of felt like NOOBPANZER took their foot off the gas a little bit more than vice versa. There were so many opportunities for NOOBPANZER to close that one out, and they just didn't. I suppose they didn't have to, being so comfortably in the lead as they were, but yeah, not the best showing, as you said, but I think Mac is just a genius. He knows when the map's not going his way, when the matchup's not looking too great, he knows how to add that pizzazz, you know, he knows how to add that highlight clip that's definitely going to end up on TFTV. And if he has to be the butt of the joke for it, so be it. That's a true performer. That's a professional right there.
I think it's the mark of a true team leader, right? To be able to grab the negative morale of the team, give them something to laugh about, give them good spirits, be that self-sacrificing hero, and lead his team into an overcharge, into lobby once again, straight it off. There's nothing. And unfortunately, I think this is unreal amounts of curtains for this game now. I'm worried now for the Shadow Wizards. They've been casting some spells. We know they love to do that. They love casting their spells, but this is not the same team I saw play against CSG last week.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And this isn't all there is to be said for this game, though. Like, this is NOOBPANZER's map pick. At the end of the day, we still do have Snake coming up next. So hopefully they can show us a little bit more on Snakewater. It feels like the mids haven't been too hot for them. If I remember correctly, every mid has been won by NOOBPANZER, and Mac didn't make it to one of them. So maybe if they can just start off there, we might get a better chance coming into Snakewater for there to still be some points here for Shadow Wizards. And even though, you know, we said we expected NOOBPANZER to be winning this one, it's not something that is like a guaranteed this should be a 6-0 game. We can still see Shadow Wizards take some points here if they do manage to come through on Snake with something.
I think especially the way they lost those rounds super early on, I think for them, for the Shadow Wizards, I think a second map number 2 might sort of be the mental break that you need to be able to come in and play a lot better. I think Metalworks is kind of a weird map in the sense that we Europeans don't really like to play it all that much, but it did just kind of feel like NOOBPANZER kind of outcalled them. I think if you look at what went so well for the Wizards against CSG last week, it really was Opti and Geordie. Geordie especially super stepping up on those mids. It kind of felt like, honestly, you watched that Granary game where they took CSG to a golden cap. The reason they were winning that was because on mids, Geordie was going in at 2-shot in corner every single time. This time around, it just didn't really work. Those soldier bombs initially didn't do a whole lot. NOOBPANZER were prepared for them, managed to outlast and come out on top every single mid. There's some logs on the screens here for you, and I'm going to be honest, they look like Metalworks logs, where one team was losing and the other team was winning. I'm not sure.
There's some very nice logs for the Red Scouts. They were definitely pulling their weight. Hugo and Adiski both had moments. Doesn't really show on the logs. Joe's log, in fact, looking quite nice for something that didn't seem to be like huge moments happening in the game. And on the other side of things, like, I don't remember a single Shadow Wizard play that game other than Patchouli having 2 very nice highlights. And at the end of the day, your med getting highlight clips isn't the class you want to be getting highlight clips. That's like very low value compared to if your combat classes were actually popping off and getting you advantages going into the game. Patch had some very nice plays, but still ending up doubling the deaths of Piggles on the other side, so it's a tricky one for Shadow Wizards. None of them really had much to be said in an individual performance here, and there was some, you know, not stellar, but pretty nice individual performances from NOOBPANZER.
I think that might honestly be the difference between these two teams. I think it feels like overall, maybe their approach to the game, not sure how similar it actually is, but I think the difference between these two teams, honestly, is just individual players, right? I think, honestly, across the board, I would have a hard time picking out a player on the Shadow Wizards that I would consider above on an individual level compared to the Shadow Wizards. I think the Shadow Wizards overall, their player strength is just honestly a little bit lower, and it's kind of what we saw here. Makes me not sure though. We're going into Snakewater next, Bumfries, taking a look at how the mids have gone so far on this map. Teams haven't been as aggressive. We've seen other teams, the Frenchies especially, they played Metalworks extremely fast on the mids. Now going into Snakewater, it is a map where you can play a really fast mid, really slow mid. Bomb your soldiers instantly, you can never bomb your soldiers. And that makes me wonder, what are we gonna see?
I have no idea. I didn't really get much of a feel for the mid fights on that first map due to one of them kind of not happening and the other two being such rolls. And to go back to what you were saying about these players matching up individually, I definitely agree. I think that there's maybe some arguments to be made about maybe Mac versus Joe is pretty equal. Maybe you could give that to Mac on a good day where he's not like blowing himself up on rollout. Maybe Opti versus Adiski, if they're even on the same soldier role. I don't actually know how the roles of the soldiers on these teams are working out. But yeah, I think overall it's pretty good one-on-one matchup-wise for NOOBPANZER. And coming into Snake, like you said, I mean, there's two ways you can play this mid. There's not really much depth to the mid in terms of doing different things. It is that you do bomb or you don't bomb. Very one-dimensional mid, as has been said to death hundreds of times before. But the mids is definitely where we need to start. We need to see Shadow Wizards actually get into some of them.
And we need to see some life. Just literally anywhere would be a really good start. Obviously, Mac making it to mid. Really good start. We saw him manage to switch up, evolve, adapt, overcome. Hopefully, I think the Snakewater mid, it's a little bit easier to roll out than Metalworks, just in my opinion. I think it's you're more well-practiced on it as well. But honestly, I think more so than just the mids, honestly, I think you look at the rest of the map, Snakewater also kind of has this dynamic that Metalworks also has, where there is just two different avenues into second, and you can, if you want, just end up walking complete opposite directions of the enemy team. You can sort of outmaneuver your opponent should they decide to push a one-way in through Saw. You can just push mid through grass if that's your poison. The other way around, capable as well. We saw NOOBPANZER able to kind of outmaneuver the Wizards on Metalworks. I think we probably, honestly, unless the Wizards, it could just also be that they are just not well practiced on Metalworks, right? They come into Snakewater, they feel more comfortable, they're better at it, and they have some more well thought out strategies. They know the map better, they play it better, and we have a closer game, I hope.
Yeah, there's something to be said of there being a mental divide between the two maps as well. Maybe, you know, after not getting into the game at all for as long as you did on Metalworks, you kind of give up hope on that map. But it's a new map, new me. You can think to yourself, you know, this isn't the map where I blew myself up on rollout. I'll be a completely different person. And Shadow Wizards can kind of mentally reset from there, get into this one.
I hope for fans, of course. I know the Shadow Wizards have an innumerable amount of fans out there in the stands cheering them on, cheering for their brothers as they go into every single game that they've played so far in ETF2L. I'm worried, though. I'm going to be completely honest. One thing I think we haven't talked about, I think deserves mention whenever he's on the screen, is the Piggles trademark Joker's Kritzkrieg that can come out at any moment. I think Snakewater is a map that lends itself very well to a Kritzkrieg every now and again. And I would not be surprised if we at some point saw Joe getting very shiny guns.
Yeah, I suppose so. But it seems like crits is more unpopular these days than ever. Like, it's very rare to see teams actually go for the Kritzkrieg play, and even rarer to see it working. Obviously, other than the AMS coveted defense Kritzkrieg on heavy that he's been rolling out every few times recently. But the only Kritzkrieg we even saw last game was actually from the other side of Patchouli. But we're all acting like any of this discussion matters. Like, at the end of the day, the teams have scripted this game. It's all down to them, what they've written in the script. I just hope they've cooked up a nice episode for us. I
hope the script writers really got their heads down and made it super interesting for us. Because who sits down in a council meeting and decides, you know what, let's make this official boring? Yeah, no one would do that. What's the point? I hope we're finally going to get to see the NOOBPANZER from NOOBPANZER. Like, I heard that if they press like some certain combination of keys, they can spawn in like the MVM tank. But I think they might be saving it for their season finale. That might be cool. I would like a tank at some point. I think actually when the Australians did that, they got like severely punished by the league, so maybe we shouldn't be encouraging that live on broadcast, but it was really funny. As we are into map number 2 of the week 2 fixture in week 4 between NOOBPANZER and Shadow Wizard Money Gang. Metalworks went somewhat dominantly in the favor of NOOBPANZER, the Shadow Wizards. They're looking to try and turn it around here on Snakewater. We're in onto mids, and both teams actually, the Wizards are opting for a balcony rollout here as Jordy bombs straight in, finds a soldier in the air, immediately taking down his Vanu as well. Now Mac going down. It's a high bomb out of Opti. So he tries to salvage onto Piggles, hits the rocket, with Patchouli out alive, building with AF, it is a mid-fight victory for NOOBPANZER. We're going to have to see how much space they get before the super comes out of Patchouli.
I don't know if Opti is baiting or if that's the game plan or if he's just got unlucky and taken damage right when his bomb's meant to happen the last couple of times, but I've seen this on the mids now, is that Jordy goes way earlier than Opti, and Opti's very much a follow-up a few seconds later kind of guy rather than them going synchronously. At least they do manage to find the frag onto Piggles at the end of that one. Vanu's going to get taken down by Spam coming in second as well. Mac is all on his own. They've just left him out to dry. What is that, man? Mac's just going down for free. And now that's left on last with 100% advantage, just unable to do anything, losing 2 picks, and they're just sitting, twiddling their thumbs.
Shocky won a 1v1 against Vanu in lower, ran into lobby, and I think the rest of the team tried to go back to try and deal with this scout in the lobby, threatening the back cap in lower. Because of that, Mac wanted to stay forward, but unfortunately no team just goes down, and that means that their Ubercharge advantage is kind of in the bin now. Sat back on last, and NOOBPANZER get away with murder, honestly, off of a really nice play out of Shocky.
Yep, now the even sentry is up. Joe already putting some spam onto it from lower, but Jordy's there to lock the door down. And there we go, 2 lock and load pills will get the sentry down, and it's an instant sack from Hugo to follow up. Nice surf once again from Patchouli, proving he's got the mechanics over and over again this game. Surfs it up to the shutter and keeps that Uber in check.
Nice surf out of Patchouli, nice heads up play, kind of expected maybe that a soldier bomb comes in and he deals with it really nice, but that soldier kill actually means the Wizards, they're moving into lobby here already, they're peeking it. AF, very aggressive there on it. The sniper wants to get some sort of shot in, but Piggles nowhere near his line of sight. So now instead it's once again up to NOOBPANZER to see if they can get anything done here. Sentry gun is now being built in the coveted sentry gun spot on Snakewater last, which means that no one's ever pushing into this ever again. I say that. Huge dispenser kill.
Yep, all it takes is 1 lock and load pipe, especially with the sentry only on level 1. The door's not being held that close. It's very easy to take the sentry down, but Joe finding the dispenser instead. The sentry's out on a bit of a weird angle than usual, probably not where he was expecting it to be.
It's a weird angle, no, but it is just going to get shot down once again by the lock and load. Mac, in the meantime, actually, on the cannonballs, is going to find a kill onto a Disky, which means that NOOBPANZER will not be going in at all. Instead, they're going to be right back out, waiting for their soldier to come back up. It's going to give a little bit of space here. You can see Mac already taking some space for his sniper in lobby, and that kill onto Voxy is going to open up the door a little bit more. It's a soldier Roma trade on the flanks here. So both of them get taken down now. The positioning out of NOOBPANZER is not the best in the world, but the sniper kill does come through out of Shocky. Eats a rocket, it doesn't matter. They get the sniper threat out of the way. Both teams are just back. Now both teams kind of sitting back, back where we left off. Shocky still peeking in lower. There's a soldier bomb coming in now. He's just so high up as a Disky. Gonna try to single Patchouli, but he bounces it perfectly. And that means that he's still alive with 100 HP. He barely took any damage off of that.
Yep, Patchouli again able to get the surf, keep the Uber in his pocket, and again, just not much being done in terms of a counter here from the Shadow Wizards. They just don't get into lobby at all. They are really willing to chill and reset this round if possible. 1 minute left.
Jordy's up on the buff banner right now. I'm going to be honest. I think the Contra is probably the better of the 2 banners at this point. Buff banner doesn't really give you too much. The mini crits are nice, but the passive buff out of the Contra I think just does a little bit more. But we'll see. The sentry gun once again taken down, but the trade kill immediately onto Voxy means that once again I don't think any sack's going to come in. You can see Hugo just hiding in this corner and lower, waiting for someone to overextend. That is Jordy peeking very aggressively, and he's going to get taken down, but the spam is there. No one else can really follow it up, but it's up to NOOBPANZER now. See if they can find an angle in somehow, some way. With 35 seconds left on this round, they kind of have time to just send a Hail Mary push, just go for it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing. This is how they won their first round last time. They are just playing the point. Shocky gets it half capped as the Ubers are about to fade any second. Now Shocky, oh my god, he's just doing whatever he wants in the backlines. Takes down Geordie. Now in comes the double bomb. Hugo and Adiski landing in. Just gonna jump back towards the point now. There's so much damage onto all the combat players. Joe has it mostly capped up now. Just Patch left to block it, and he's gonna go down as well. Once again, they just win off the trade diff at the end, just making themselves a better play. Shocky getting in behind, just two-shotting Geordie there with no one dealing with him was massive.
Such a big play out of Shocky. How old is this kid again, by the way?
Yes, must be some zoomer with how good he is at aiming.
Yeah, he's this kid's pretty good. We'll see where he is in a couple seasons time. Really good stuff out of them. They kind of just had 30 seconds left on the round timer. They capped that point with like 5 seconds left on the round timer, and they just managed to make it work. The double soldier bomb in the end manages to follow it up. Now you can see Geordie Opti this time around. They are very much way more sync, but Piggles has found himself a ticket up onto top here. Hugo wants to bomb in onto Patchouli, but he manages to live as well. He's just out into Solve right now. He's got a scout with him, 80 HP. As Voxy's on the hunt, on the prowl. He's going to keep walking up forwards. Af has to keep his medic safe. It looks like maybe for now, Patchouli all the way back into his own spawn. One Adiski hiding in lower. He's going to try to get the jump on to a member of the Wizards.
And no one's clearing lower at all. Everyone has just rolled out through lobby. They haven't even considered Adiski being here. So this could be huge. If he springs this trap with the correct timing, it could be a massive, massive difference maker. Keeping it quiet, not rocket jumping from behind, just climbing up into lobby the slow way. Has a free kill on Opti here, and he's going to take it. Big rocket just takes him down immediately, landing on top of Patch, gets the first 2 rockets in, and the sack from Hugo follows up. They get the drop onto Patch. He was just way too cocky there, expecting it to only be a Disky. He's managed to surf it so many times before that he thought he could keep it, but Puck there to back up his teammate, and they get that huge drop. This is all but guaranteed to be a round now. 100% advantage, no heals for ages. The Uber does come out from Voxy. They are going to be able to pick up Opti here on the right side, but the spawners are coming in. It's not quite capped up yet. There's not much time on point at all, and the players are falling one by one for NOOBPANZER, but everyone is so low now on Shadow Wizards. Just Patch once again to block last, and that is it. 2-0.
Geordie comes up on that direct hit, wants to try and make it work, but unfortunately just misses every single rocket. Had he been on the rocket launcher, honestly, I feel like they probably could have held that. There was so much delay, but the no damage coming out of the soldier really made all the difference in the world there for NOOBPANZER. They stay in the fight, they take the long road, but they manage to get it done. Now they're 2-0 up with 21 minutes left on the clock. Still plenty of time for Shadow Wizards, but it's also time for NOOBPANZER to slow this game right down, should they please.
And Vanu has just hard rushed in behind from Kitchen this time. Piggles is going to get late bombed at the end of mid by Geordie and Opti. He's going to get taken down, and Patch has already run out to safety with Af. The chasing Adiski is going to fall to the Finnish scout, and that's another mid that the Wizards have lost but kept their medic alive. Can they actually get back into the round this time? Last time they just ended up stuck on last because they just dropped 2 players trying to walk out of this very lobby. Shocky this time the one to be going for a play, and he's managed to sneak in behind undetected once again, this time taking a 1v1 with Vanu. But looks like eventually everyone is going to come back and clean that up. The Uber has been used, though, on second. And
once again, it's just Shocky going in behind, distracts the Wizards from the actual problem, which is the soldier bombing in onto Patchouli. They're not able to deal with him. The force comes out, and that means that now the Wizards are pushing forwards, but they just lose Patchouli this time. He can't go invincible. Yes, it's a kill onto Joe, but if Adiski and Hugo combined find the rest of the kills there for Puck, hitting some really nice rockets onto Vanu as well, it just allows them to clean up. One Opti sitting on the high ground, farming some logs. The rest of his team is dead. Once again, I mean, this Shocky guy gets into lower and it's GG.
Yeah, and Opti just trying to dance around on last, trying to live for as much time as possible, but all of this left side is already taken for free for NOOBPANZER, and they have 100% advantage to boot. Here they go, using it across onto the right side. They're just leaving one on cap while the Uber is still happening. No one's even there in time to block, and that is a very quick 3-0.
Hugo went in. Luckily for him, he was Ubered. We got like triple air shot there, trying to bum up the point. Took, I think, maybe a total of 50 damage getting tripled, but it is what it is. As that round in the bag for NOOBPANZER once again. They're looking so dominant here, honestly, and it's off of these flank plays out of Shocky primarily, really doing a number on the Wizards.
We might see a slow mid here from the Wizards, because they do have Patchouli on Kritzkrieg. They might be playing to get this during the mid-fight itself, and you do see no one's actually bombed across, everyone on their own half. Shocky this time the one to flank in behind and just get straight onto Patchouli, but not hitting the shots. Adiski there to help when the... Oh, Shocky just baits in that soldier, and Adiski follows it up. Vanu going down on heavy now finally, and they've successfully played the mid-fight slowly, but they've lost it either way. Mac going to be going down here late as well. Opti not long for this world, and now even though they have this 100% Uber, it's crits and they're on a last hold. That is not what you want to see. If they take a trade here for whatever reason from NOOBPANZER, it's going to be absolutely dreadful for Shadow Wizards. They're not going to be able to kill any of those Ubered players at all with the triple damage. So being stuck here on last, even Ubers with Kritzkrieg, is such a poor position to be in. And Patch is just going to get sacked on. He's not going to be using off. He knows there's no point just popping a Kritzkrieg to a sack like that.
I think, actually, I'm not even sure. Surely, at this point, Adiski has been close enough to Patchouli to see that he is on crits.
Yes, he should have seen
multiple occasions. They should know at this point as well, with the heavy coming out on the balcony there as well. They should know that this is a crit screen. You can see how passively they're kind of playing it. A little bit tentatively. Want to take down that gun before they go in, but a kill onto Af out of Hugo as well makes it so hard to hold. Now Sentry Gun going down. I think that's kind of the last bastion here. It's going to be a direct hit crit in through shutters, and unfortunately, the enemy gamers are just 100 HP headshot onto Opti as well. Sentry Gun taken down, and once again, Geordie, this direct hit, he's trying to cook. Unfortunately, he's gone and burnt it all, and it's a 4-0 now for NOOBPANZER.
Yeah, I mean, just nothing going right there on last for Shadow Wizards. Getting stuck on Kritzkrieg is not the position you want to be in. Constantly rebuilding a level 1 in the middle of last that's just going to die to one lock and load pipe, also not the position you want to be in. Very weird choice to just keep trying that when it's completely obviously futile. But here we go, 4-0. Can NOOBPANZER finish it off with the quick 5-er? As we are just 13 minutes into this game and no signs of life for the Shadow Wizards. Once again, Shocky trying to get behind through Kitchen. The bomb out from Adiski, insta-kills Geordie up top. That's the direct hit down. Mac decides he has to do it himself, walks across point, grabs Piggles and Joe with the help of Opti. And now, this time, it's actually looking pretty good for the Shadow Wizards. Opti going to be able to clean up these last two frags here, or doesn't actually quite manage to get Adiski. But that pistol from Vanu will follow it up. So finally, we see a mid-fight win right at the very end. TCM?
I mean, there's 16.5 minutes left. They have time on the board here, but they're going to need such a swing here. I think, I'm going to be honest, I don't want to be toxic, but Geordie, got to stop whatever he's cooking with his DH. It's not working out, buddy. But he's keeping it up. Maybe he'll do something soon? Question mark? Hopefully.
Yeah, well, whatever Geordie is cooking gave me food poisoning, bro.
Yeah.
That is so undercooked.
Don't let these Dutch people cook, man. Oh my god. They make... I'm gonna be honest, they make fun of the British for having bad food. Don't go to Netherlands.
Opti in with the spy. Made it all the way behind into lobby. Looking for a play sooner rather than later here. They need some momentum to start stacking up, but there's a lot of distance between him and Piggles, and he is on the Cloak and Dagger. He's going to need to wait temporarily for this to recharge, for him to actually get into a position here. Piggles' back is turned. No one's expecting the spy at all in this point of the game, so it could be an opportunity. He's ready and waiting in cheese. If he can just sneak past this soldier. He's opting to go for the bridge instead, and Piggles just gets butter stabbed, gets, oh, pistol down twice, but it's not going to be enough to follow up on the kill.
Yeah, unfortunately, doesn't really manage to get the stab. A nice little trade kill onto Voxy means that the rest of NOOBPANZER aren't able to actually push forwards. Now, the Wizards, they're all in. They're just going through window here, all of them. Patchouli as well manages to dodge. Adiski completely shut down there, wants to go forwards here, but Mac takes so much damage from a bomb out of Hugo. Direct comes out, and now the trade onto point here. As both teams, there's actually more flashes here for NOOBPANZER as Pickles is stuck here on second. Joe as well, but Pickles has somehow managed to serve it so well. Joe is so low, but he's managing to stay alive. Patchouli goes for flying as well. Everyone's kind of just gone dive bombing here. As finally the cleanup is going to come out of the direct hit. Jordy, eventually, please, I'm begging you, you're going to hit the scout. Promise me, man. Because unfortunately, it doesn't do it. This Foxy guy is so low. I think it maybe managed to finally, potentially clean it up, but Patchouli dies. He does so much, and he lives anyway.
Too much. There's super long spawns. The Shadow Wizards should be able to do something into last here at the very least. They're playing the cap time. Piggles is in deep. They could just focus Piggles here and call that an ad and get out, but no, it looks like they are just going to get mowed down by the defense on last. And that fight on second was so bonkers. Piggles nearly making the best play of all time. He managed to surf out, keep people up with bows for a decent amount of time, even went in for the melee kill at the end, but would have been massive if he managed to pull it off, but he didn't need to. They don't lose the round in the end. They still have a 40% advantage off of that failed last push, and NOOBPANZER very comfortable in the driving seat.
Half is just walking in through Saw here, and the bomb comes in now out of Opti, but it doesn't really get that much damage done. Instead, the sack come forward, and it do nothing.
Yeah, the 4-man sack is just wasted. They don't find Piggles. He hits a nice surf to get up out of Africa. This map, he's been stepping up. He saw Patchouli's highlights, and he wasn't even pressured enough on Metalworks to even have his own. But this time he's already hitting nice mechanics all over the place to keep himself alive in situations he should be dying. And yeah, it's good to see the medics are having a good day here at least.
A medic's up when everyone else fails. It's unfortunately how the cookie crumbles in TF2 sometimes. As this time around, they're just sitting around. Honestly, it's even Ubers. Nothing's happening. Until someone feeds, nothing goes on anymore.
Yep, 12 minutes left, and Hugo's the one opting to feed first, jumping in. Jordy unable to hit the rockets, and they bait Af forwards onto a trap. Voxy is into cheese, is going to go down. Opti's the one to take him out, and Shocky and Adiski both managing to get in on the flank. Shocky just runs in through Africa, takes down Mac for free. Adiski bombing onto Patch. He's unable to keep that one this time, and I don't know. I feel like his ego got ahead of him after his plays earlier, because that is the easiest force I've ever seen, and he just opts to drop it instead. And I think the game ended and they rage closed the server. We don't even get to see the end of this game, but it's a 5v0 with 100% ad. I'm pretty sure you can figure out how this game ended, guys. So GG, NOOBPANZER going to be taking all 6 points from tonight's official. The server is closing. We don't get to see that empty last get capped up.
3, 2, 1, lost connection to the server.
Yeah, okay. Unlucky. No points for the Wizards tonight. NOOBPANZER taking all 6. Kind of the expected outcome. We didn't really see anything good tonight from Shadow Wizards, is my takeaway from this game. I don't mean to be harsh.
Yeah, I think this is a night to forget. For all of them, I'm going to be honest. The quality of their gameplay today just did not live up to what we've seen from them. Especially just last week, honestly. They were looking really solid for a lot of their game versus CSG, and tonight, I mean, NOOBPANZER played well to overcome what they were facing. I just wouldn't say, I feel like I would be lying to the audience if they overcame too much. This was not a very impressive game out of Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
Yes. I don't even think there's much more to say. There's not much analysis to be done here. You can see the logs up on screen now. Again, Voxy and Shocky having a nice time. Shocky and Adiski also having those massive plays over and over again, just getting behind on second. Again, there's no real single player you can point out on Shadow Wizard who was making stuff work, making stuff happen, even though they were losing throughout the game. There wasn't like a show-off performance where at least, someone is the saving grace of the team. It was just kind of a whitewash here.
Yeah, especially that second map. It looked like they honestly had a bit of signs of life in map number 1 on Metalworks, but this time around, I mean, yeah, they just really didn't have anything. Shoutouts. I think especially Shocky, this game had so many plays where it just completely managed to catch the Wizards with their robes off, with their pants down. Do Wizards wear pants?
I think they wear robes. I think
Yeah.
you definitely get away with that.
Could you put on pants under the robes?
I'd hope so.
I hope so too. We'd have to ask one of the Wizards eventually, but they might have to spend some more time with their tomes.
Yeah, maybe. That might be the case. We are, I think, done here for tonight, Juan, unless you have any other analysis you want to throw in, but...
Nope. Remember, guys, more games tomorrow, hopefully of a little bit higher quality here on TFTV. Mayhaps, perhaps even a TFTV 2.
Yeah, there's two games tomorrow.
DumTum did an excellent job of doing the worst scheduling. Too easy versus 4 Fence should be an absolute banger.
And Witness versus Shadow Wizard Money Gang as well.
Yep.
Obviously, being the geniuses that they are, I'm pretty sure that the Wizards were just saving strats for Witness tomorrow. Doesn't matter if you drop 6 points to a mid-table team. All people are going to remember is if you manage to get that 1 point off Witness. That will be your highlight of the season. So they were saving strats for that. That's my cope.
Yep, they're putting some special ingredients in the cauldron. They're just boiling them, getting it ready. Yep. But if it were me, TF2EZ versus 4 Fence tomorrow, it's going to be an absolute banger. Lucky and Dave are going to be bringing you that. There's another game on Sunday as well. CSG versus Swift is also a game. I think if CSG play well, then it won't be that close. But Swift had a really close game against NOOBPANZER, so that might also be really good. And then, of course,
Swift are easily going to win that one, considering how close Shadow Wizard Money Gang versus CSG was. And I mean, Swift is miles above Shadow Wizard Money Gang, so I don't think CSG have a chance.
True, real, good analysis. If you want even more true, real-based and true analysis, make sure if you miss out on any of the games, you want a quick little recap, you don't have time to watch all of the games, Monday. As every Monday this season, there's Fully Charged. It's going to be Lucky. It's going to be other people. Probably me. Maybe a third guest. We'll see. About half of Prem keeps telling me that they are quote-unquote doing things and quote-unquote busy on Mondays at 9. So maybe one day we'll get a Prem guest. Who knows? But yeah, I think that's all for us for now. Come back tomorrow. Hopefully better game. I'm actually surprised no one has clipped and posted the clip of Mac dying on rollout. If someone could do that, it'd be really good because I need that. And yeah, I'll see you guys later tomorrow.